I'm Rosie Baker, the editor of AdNews. I'm here with Sam Haig, the Chief Strategy Officer for Carrot Australia. So we've been talking about brands in culture and how brands make themselves a part of cultural moments. Why is it important for brands to do that?
Well, for me, I think we've always tried to find places for brands where they are surrounding the things that consumers are interested in, the things that people want to watch, the things that people want to talk about. I think the opportunity for brands now is how do you become the thing that they want to watch, or be the brand that they want to talk about. And to do that, you've got to understand what audiences want to know about and what they're interested in. And you've also got to create content that's fit for purpose to be able to be relevant and something that they want to engage with. And to do that, you're going to form a better relationship with that consumer over time and be able to leverage that both commercially and from an engagement perspective.
I'm here with JR Little, the Global Head of Innovation for Cara.
Some brands have great access to data, especially those brands that are more digital in their offering in the first place, like a Netflix or an Airbnb or an Uber. I mean, those are digital businesses, so they have lots of data they're generating on a daily basis. But I think it's important to remember that even for our more traditional sell a commodity sort of brands, that at some point they're buying ads in a digital landscape. And anytime you buy an ad digitally, data points are created off the back end. And those things can tell you things about what other websites they visited, what other things they were interested in, what regions, geographies they live in. So that's one thing. The second area where brands actually do have an ability to go ahead and get data now is brands have websites. You can tag up a website so that if someone goes to that website, you could then drop a pixel. I know I'm getting in details. Drop a pixel, see what other things they looked at, and suddenly you have enough data to pull some insights.
One of the key parts of any successful brand these days is to really tap into the cultural context of your consumer. Understanding your consumer, understanding what really motivates them, what makes them tick, what really is important in their lives is how I think a brand becomes more relevant for the consumer.
I believe all brands have a right to play in the cultural space, and I think using mobile to enhance that experience is absolutely key. So the advice that I'd give brands is to be incredibly thoughtful around the data you're using and the creative that's being showed. So in terms of data, there's tons of signals now you can pick up when you're working with a platform that has unique ID like Facebook. So use those signals, segment the audience so that you've got many different types of audience and you understand what life stage is and where they're at. The complement to that is obviously creative. So if you've got 20 different data segments, tell them 20 different stories.
You know, the brands that we find who do play in the cultural space, something interesting really happens. You know, when they're adding to and starting to own a category and add value to an audience, people start talking about them, people start sharing what they're doing, people start having conversations about those brands to their friends. So the payoff is great. And I guess the trick to that is really trying to find what makes your brand unique and being able to turn that into something compelling within culture.